morning, everybody. Wherever you are, however you may be listening, this is your Wednesday wrap-up. Got Herb in the house. Looks like we already got people in the chat. What's happening, my man?
Man, it is a beautiful morning. I'm ready to talk some football, man. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, but your guy with the national days, National Pizza Week, I'm in. I even had some last night. I made pizza last night. So
I feel like this could be any week, though. And everyone else gets a day, pizza gets the week, or maybe the month, or possibly the year.
I mean, that tracks. That tracks. I'm with it.
What's up, Win? What's up, Nick?
Hey. So, I mean, man, there's so much going on that, there's no way we're going to be able to cram this all into a 1-hour show here. But, might as well start off with the wild card weekend. And most of the games kind of went the way I thought. It actually did great in pick'ems. It was the first week of pick'ems that I actually won the week, which is wild to think that I went through the entire season and couldn't pull off a single week. And then a wild card round, that's when I finally get one. But
I peaked in week one.
I mean,
I got it out the way. I was like, here's my best. All right, I'm done. Retire.
Been consistent enough that I'm sitting in second. But yeah, I didn't win a single week, which is crazy to me.
You were just consistent. That's all. The guy that looks like, I don't know how to feel about that one. The guy that looks like Herb. I don't.
Right?
You got me.
What's that even mean?
Yes. I think I did good in week one, and then I was consistently bad afterwards. And I even fell behind Raj, and that was my claim to shame in Pick'em.
Well, and Raj is sitting in that 5th spot. Yes. So how about that? Going to finish in the top 5 probably? Yeah. I think he has just enough room that there's not enough games left for Eric to catch him behind him. Mostly because Eric forgot to put his picks in for the wild card.
Nice.
So, hey, better lucky than good sometimes.
There you go. I'd rather have luck on my side for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, you need some, right? I mean, it's. I could have easily not gone 6 for 6 this last week. The Jags could have actually pulled it off, right?
Yep.
Panthers could have upset. So I mean, there were some games that were close. The Steelers did exactly what we thought they'd do, which is
there were some zero surprises. Yeah, I'm looking at mine now. I missed Green Bay and Philly, so I can't. Philly, I should have known better. Green Bay, I mean, you pretty much had the game, and I guess we'll talk about whichever order we're talking about.
I mean, some of these we don't really need to talk in depth about because I mean, like the Steelers were a bad team going in, and so the Texans win, and you're like, I mean, yeah,
yep.
Of course they did.
Yes.
The Panthers is probably a good one to start off with. I figured the Rams would win to avenge that loss 5 weeks prior. But I knew the Panthers would be there because for whatever reason, that's a matchup issue for the Rams. They don't stack up particularly well with the Panthers for whatever reason. But I didn't think that that the Panthers would get them twice. I really felt that the Rams had enough experience to get through that game. And then, of course, Matt Stafford comes out, solidifies his MVP role. I understand it's a regular season award, but it's not like these voters turn their TVs off when the playoffs start. So playoff performances do matter. He comes out, absolutely balls out, gets his 50th game-winning drive, and then on the other side, Drake May didn't look particularly great.
Oh, okay. And I was like, did we switch game? Okay, no. No. Right. No, because that was an ugly game for the Patriots. No, this was weird too because you saw the big point spread going into this game, right? And I think everybody was like, yeah, Rams to win, but Panthers to cover. You know what I mean? Just like everyone was in that middle spot. You never saw a team that basically had to watch the Falcons, win a game for them to get into the playoffs
Yeah.
but you just knew that they were going to play this one tough. And man, kudos to the Panthers. I know they're still trying to figure out. They just picked up Bryce Young's 5th year. They're still trying to figure out the long term, but just you see the effect of getting someone a number 1 wide receiver. Like I guess they thought it was Xavier Legette, and we knew really quickly that was not right.
Yeah.
The wide receiver has to catch, and that's part of the problem. But getting him a number 1 wide receiver, McMillan, kudos to them for that. And the Rams, I knew they would win. I didn't think it would have to come down to a game-winning drive. I thought they'd be ahead, and maybe the Panthers would make them sweat. So that was just a fun game to watch. I didn't realize how much I was rooting for the Panthers though until they lost, and I was like, oh man. I was like really sad all of a sudden.
I kind of was too. I would have liked the Seahawks to be squaring off against the Panthers or even Green Bay. The fact that we got to see the Niners again, and then realistically, if they win that, they're then going to see the Rams again, because the Rams are going to beat the Bears.
Yeah.
So
I think so too.
It's
kudos again to the NFC West, man. If it, like I said, I said this before, the opposite of what the NFC North did last year with similar regular season success and then kind of falling flat in the playoffs. It doesn't mean anything if you have those regular seasons and then nobody does anything. So if they get, like they've already got all 3, at this point, and the Rams get them a victory, they're guaranteed a Super Bowl participant. That's an amazing job, especially when you look at before this year, we would have said probably Rams were your best contender coming out of the division. Yeah. And then the other guys maybe make the playoffs. And now you're like, they're not even the favorite, and they weren't even fighting out for the division on the last day. So that's wild. So
no,
I feel bad that
having 3 of the last 4 coming out of the same division is crazy work to begin with. And I had the Rams winning the division at the beginning of the year. I had Seattle as a 10-win wild card team, and then I had the Niners missing.
Yeah.
The Niners had some like black magic to get somehow keep winning games despite nobody on the roster. And then, but when you look at these 3 teams, this is probably the stat that's the craziest to me is the Rams have the number 1 offense, right? Seattle has the number 1 defense. The Niners have the number 2 offense. So you have 3 teams in the top 2 out of the same division,
right?
All fighting for this spot. It's crazy. It's been amazing to watch, but at the same time, it's like, man, talk about a rough path, because not only do you have some of the hardest teams to get to the Super Bowl, but they're divisional games. So you really have no idea how those are going to go.
Right. And you're going to face that person twice, and there is no like dodging them or, doesn't matter if we win or lose. No, we got to bring everything the whole time for this game just to have a shot at making the playoffs. So, and that surprises me. The biggest stat in there surprised me is the 49ers one, because I don't know who's playing. I mean, you lose another player in Kittle this past week that you couldn't really afford to do. I don't know if that game honestly said more about 49ers and their resilience or the fact that it's accurate. Did the Eagles just want the game to be over, or, the season to be over? It felt like 2 years ago where they were just like, I'm done. Can we be done with this game and get rid of AJ Brown and move on to next year? So, but hats off to the West.
Yeah. So Jay, it depends on which metric you're looking at. If you're looking at scoring, I think they're actually 5th. So, yeah, I mean, these teams are stacked. Honestly, I think whatever team comes out of the West probably wins the Super Bowl. Because when you're looking at the AFC side, they're all flawed teams. Yeah. If it's going to be the Texans and the Patriots, the defenses are great. The offenses are okay. Right. Whereas when you look at teams like the Rams, number 1 offense, but nobody's talking about the fact it's still a top 10 defense. Right.
Right.
Seattle, number 1 defense, top 5, top 7, depending on which metric you're looking at for the offense. The Niners, if they somehow make it through, they second offense, and then their defense isn't amazing, but it gets the job done.
Right.
And if somehow by a miraculous thing the Bears make it, then the AFC has a legitimate shot because the Bears are so inconsistent. They're basically the NFC version of the Broncos.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
only play offense for the final quarter.
Yes. And that's all this. You can't fall behind good teams every single time and think, okay, we're just going to wait to make their comeback, you know? And this time they waited, like you said, as long as possible. Halfway through the third quarter, I think they were still down, 27-16 when Green Bay finally adds their last touchdown. They're like, yeah, we can still do this.
They were in the fourth quarter. They were down by a mile. Like all they needed was some. I don't hate the Bears. They're not there yet,
yeah.
Right? And again,
which is fine. Yeah.
Like
I think they're still ahead of their schedule. You know, Caleb Williams is only in his second year. The coach is only in the first. Like it's not like we've been talking about them for 5 years. No, they went from last in the division to first this year, and they're still in it. You know, and what everybody else is falling by the wayside. So no, it's absolutely saying that I think the Rams are a better team doesn't. You know, that's not a knock on the Bears, but there is a clear, path that they are taking, and that path is all right, guys. We're going to rest up the first half. Okay. Everybody take the first half off. Defense, if you can hold them down, not get too big. Second half, we'll open up the playbook and we'll start playing. And by the fourth quarter, everybody be in a rhythm and we'll start scoring.
See, Jay there is the master of stirring the pot. So he fully embraces the, oh, you said you like apples? That means you hate pineapples. We weren't even talking about those.
And I'd push back on this. I don't think the Bears have a Super Bowl offense. You can't have a Super Bowl offense that only plays one quarter. Yeah. So, and I don't think it's the defense's fault that the offense does nothing for the whole first half.
Exactly.
We've seen that with several teams.
If you want to see why we say they're not a Super Bowl offense, go back and watch the games. Watch the first 15 to 20 plays. He looks great. The scripted plays, good. Looks good. And then he drops way off. And then you come out of halftime. They usually have a scripted series coming out of halftime as well. He usually plays pretty well for that first series. Then they do nothing. And then they have to play hero ball to get back in the game. And so, eventually that's going to get you. In fact, let's grab, oops. Wrong button. Because even Ben Johnson acknowledges this. So it wasn't a sound bite that I was planning on, but if you give me a minute, I will bring it in because it's telling. Because it's not like it's just me hating on the Bears or anything like that. Like it's legitimately a thing.
Yeah.
So
and their first half offense is ranked 18th in the league.
Yeah, and honestly,
the second half offense is ranked third. So
because of the first series,
right?
Because outside of that, then they really start doing nothing. So here we go. Here's Ben Johnson.
See it again tonight. Are you just amazed by what this team can do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's our identity here at this point. And some people say it's not sustainable. I don't know. It's the takeaways are, that's who we are on defense and, on offense. It's explosive plays. That's kind of what we've done all year long and coming up in big moments. And as a team, it's just resiliency and knowing that late in the fourth quarter, that's really when we're at our best as a football team. So we'll keep striving to be better earlier in games and starting faster and all that. But, that's gives us something to work towards, but I can't be any more proud of this crew than I am right now.
I mean, he acknowledges right there that, that can come and get you, right? He's like, they say it'll catch up with us. I don't know. It's because he knows, right? Like he's been around football long enough to know that this is not a great way to have sustained success, especially as you move into the playoffs, right? Because I mean, now you're talking about defenses that are, kind of next level. So,
yeah. What's up? What's up?
And yeah, nobody's saying that Caleb can't make plays. Like he has the tools to be great in this league. Honestly, he is what gets in his own way most of the time. So if he can work through some of those things, he is incredibly talented. So Devin, what's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching, be sure to check out his stuff. He's a Bears fan, incidentally. So good timing on popping in, because we were talking about Caleb Williams needing to be able to play for 4 quarters. But yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams has the talent to be great. He just, mentally is immature in moments, and seems like he struggles adapting to the game at times, right?
Yeah.
So when he's got the scripted start to the game, he looks really sharp, on time, all of that. You go into halfway through the first quarter to halftime, it's generally very sloppy play. The level of play drops way off. You come out of halftime, there's more scripted plays. He looks sharp. Then it drops off yet again. And then when it becomes an unscripted, we got to catch up, and he gets to scramble around and do stuff off schedule. Then he starts to look good again and can climb back into these games. They really need to figure out how to clean up, that other
part of that
35 minutes of the game.
Yes. Yeah, no. But that's how he was at USC, especially in the Heisman campaign. He likes to be on the run, getting a little chaotic, on the go, let me throw this, versus, hey, here's a play, and here's where this guy, and here's who should be open. He's like, I don't know about that. But what if I run around here and he's sometimes finding out, like, you can't outrun these guys, like you did in college. Guys are hawking you down. You can't go totally chaotic. But I think sometimes with Caleb Williams, we sit here and talk like he's been in the league 5 or 6 years. And it's like, because they've moved up so quickly, still only year 2. I mean, there's still a lot of growth to be had. I think, like you just said, he's still adjusting. But now the expectations have gone way up, especially with a new coach. So it's interesting to see how they balance that out.
Yeah, the run game is very important. Takes pressure off of Caleb Williams also. So, I mean, there is part of that. Yeah, I mean, not only is it his second year, but it's a whole new coaching staff, like all of that. So, I mean, like, there's a lot of things that kind of go against his growth. And we have seen him grow throughout the season, right? Because he looked pretty awful in the beginning. So it's not to discount that he's getting better. It's just, you're being thrust into this position that it's like, okay, well, now you got to come with it. Right. And some of it's going to be Ben Johnson learning how to use this guy the most effectively too. I mean, it's not like Seattle, when Russell Wilson got drafted, was like, hey, let's just have a guy running around and, get our receivers to adapt to it. Because you're not seeing some of that from his receivers coming back to help him when he's running around. Right. So it is a team effort to look as sloppy as they do.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like you said, it's a thing to get used to. If I'm running this and I'm Chris right here and I'm thinking, and I'm like, oh, where's he going? Like, what's going on back there? So, no. I think they're, like I said, I think they're ahead of schedule. I think they play in a tough division. Kudos to this, but I will be picking them to end this weekend. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Rams are going to get them, especially because they have Adams back. So, yeah, I fully expect them to win. I expect Seattle to beat a very hurt San Fran team, especially now that Kittle's out, because he's a guy that generally gashes Seattle. They do struggle with across the middle and seam routes. They're better at them this year, but you can still get yardage there that way. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a West team to answer your question here, Jay. It's going to be, realistically, it'll either be the Seahawks or the Rams. And let's be honest, when those two teams match up, I couldn't tell you who's going to win that game, because you look at the first 2 games that they played this season. The first one, Darnold throws like 4 picks. Rams only win by 2. right?
Yep.
Seattle, the next time through, Sam throws like 3 picks to him, and Seattle wins by 1. There's more than 70 points scored each in those 2 games. The point differential for those 2 games is 1 point. So
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. You went through the defensive battle in the first one, and then the defense has said, okay, we're going to let you guys have your day in the second one. Probably one of the games of the year and one of the craziest games. So, yeah, anybody who thinks there's a clear favorite going into if they get to, no, not disrespect the Bears. The game hasn't been played yet. But if we do see how it would be fitting that game 3 would be for the right to go to the Super Bowl. For sure. Anybody who thinks there's a clear favorite going into that game, I'm thinking, come on, you definitely know something more than what I think. So,
is he a better coach than Dan Campbell? Just a different kind of coach. Dan Campbell is he's a great motivator and may not necessarily be the best X's and O's guy. He is fantastic at getting the coaches he needs, whereas Ben Johnson is an X's and O's guy. And so it's just a different style of coaching. I wouldn't necessarily say that one is better than the other. Dan Campbell relies heavily on his coordinators being good at what they do, though.
Right. I also think Detroit has been as banged up as possible the last 2 years, too. So sometimes it's hard to get a real gauge on what that team is looking like. So
for sure. And yeah, Caleb's deep ball accuracy is good. It's not his tools, right? It's his decision making and immaturity on and off the field. So that's where he gets in his own way. He has all the tools to be good.
For sure.
And in this scenario, I really don't think it's going to affect the Rams too much. The Rams are such a balanced team. And you're talking about Stafford having, an MVP year, right? Like he's probably playing the best ball of his career right now. So
yeah. And I would think all his years in Detroit would get him prepared for this kind of stuff anyway. I think he knows.
Well, they play in a dome.
Handle them. Oh, really? Oh, well, then
yeah, full field's covered. Yeah.
That's why I stick to college most of the time. Roll Tide.
Yeah, no, the Lions have been bad for so long. Ain't nobody showing up if it's like 20 below. They're like, we're not coming out there to watch them get smoked.
Fair enough.
The last couple of years have been different.
Right, and that's all we remember, yes. But even then, they went through their best season and still bowed out early. So it's kind of like the Detroit Lions curse will always follow them.
Go anyone versus the Bears, man. But yeah, 9 degrees is no joke. Like that's going to be rough. But keep in mind, Stafford's been around the league a long time, and he played in Detroit, and although their field is covered, they played the rest of the North.
Right.
So, he spent a lot of time playing cold teams. Stafford will be fine. They'll lean into their running game. They do have an okay running game. But I mean, when you look at their receivers, Puka's going to do work. Adams is back. Adams played in cold weather for a long time, right? So, I mean, it's not like this is a young team that hasn't had to deal with the elements. So don't get me wrong. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be close. I just think the Rams probably get this one done.
Yeah. Agreed. I was looking up the trade that they're just asking about. I didn't think that was anywhere close to being one of the worst trades. No,
it was a great trade for both teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it this way: is Stafford was there, and he had Tate and Megatron, and like they had weapons, right? I mean, the guy was a fantasy football monster, but they couldn't win games, right? And so they do this trade. They get Goff, who has been fantastic for them, and also a bunch of draft picks. And so they were able to build a team. And you can say that the Rams won because they got a ring, right?
Right.
No question. They won that element of it. But if you look at Detroit's end of it, this is where they won. Until Dan Campbell got there and they made this trade, they didn't have back-to-back double-digit winning seasons in their history. That team's been around since the 30s.
Right.
You're talking about a team that's almost 100 years old that didn't have double-digit winning seasons back-to-back ever.
Yeah.
And that just happened. Like, they just broke that streak. So you can't tell me that them becoming a relevant team wasn't a win for them.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking up to see the picks, like just 3 of those: J-Mo, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta. Like that, with Goff kind of steadying the franchise, and like you said, the regular season thing. Like, I think it's a great trade. And the way it was framed, to one of the worst trades ever. Like, no, there are so many bad trades, like you said. Yeah, the Rams got the Super Bowl, so they're going to get maybe what you think is the better part of it. But had they not made the trade, okay, maybe the Rams aren't winning, but Detroit's not winning either with what they had. So you elevated both franchises. It's got to be a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, most trades have a distinct winner and a loser, generally, right? This one, I can honestly say both these teams won.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that, Jay. But yeah, I mean, like, Russell Wilson trade to the Broncos. Seattle won.
Yeah.
Right? Dallas won. So I mean, like, there's those trades that you're just like, okay, yeah, these are super lopsided. But when you look at that one, you're just like, no, like, both teams actually did everything they needed to out of that. And realistically, outside of a couple of like bonehead calls, like going for that 2-point conversion 3 times in a row, sometimes going for overtime, it works,
Yeah.
You'll
be okay. Yeah. So if the Lions don't blow it against San Francisco, a year or 2 ago, 2 years ago, we might not even be talking about this anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of what ifs, but no, I think just the Jahmyr Gibbs part of it and then Goff and being relevant is almost, just great enough for Detroit. But you add in the other players, no, I mean, they're on the right trajectory. So, and that's no knock against Stafford. He had just kind of come to the end of his rope at Detroit. Sometime, like you said, that franchise, there was nothing else he could do at that point. So
yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need different scenery. Like, it just, it happens over time. I mean, and it's not like he wasn't great for them. They could never put the pieces around it. And that trade helped them grab all those draft picks to then put talent all over that field.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was just something that they weren't able to do when Stafford was still there. So I like the trade for both teams. Like, if you're a fan of either team, you can't be like, we shouldn't have done that. I mean, you look at it and you're like, nah, like, we did all right.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, 2 years ago, Detroit had their shot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they came up short, but they had their shot to go win a ring.
Yeah. They did. I think they've built something great there. They did. And that's the other part about those, when you do those big for picks, you got to nail the picks. Now how we not talked about all those guys they just grabbed and they were all bust, and you're like clear winner for the Rams. But no, they did the rare thing where, hey, we're going to give you like 4 or 5 picks. I'm going to nail like all 4 or 5 picks, which doesn't often happen.
That does get us to the halfway point, so we will go ahead and we will say goodbye to our radio audience. If you are listening on 97.3 ICU Radio, there's some smooth jazz headed your way, so stay tuned for that. Or if you want to catch the second half of our show, jump on over to our YouTube channel at Football-Talk and get the rest of the NFL breakdown and some other sports news as well. Okay. So the clip that I forgot to play when we were covering the Rams versus Panthers was the post game here from Stafford and Devontae. Radio folks kick to the curb. Yeah, exactly.
We still love them. Just
it's just a half-hour segment, It's just. I mean. Besides, we're talking a lot of NFL, and that station's based out of Atlanta, so they probably don't want to hear any of that.
Oh, poor Atlanta. We're sorry.
You know who's not clicking over to the YouTube channel now? Everybody over there.
Oh, I mean, they might click over to tell you they hate you. I mean, there's
true.
always that.
That's true. All right, here's the clip of Stafford and Devontae.
An opportunity like tonight, I walked behind Tay on the way out and was like, for that last drive, I forget what I said to him, but I was like, let's go snatch these guys. Let's go snatch this one back, man. Let's go.
I think he said, let's go snatch these guys' hearts. And that was pretty cold. That was pretty cold. Just to hear that, and I actually literally smiled in the moment because I thought that was one of the most gangster things you could say in that moment, honestly. And to hear him say that and the look on his face, and then throw the touchdown, and then the look on his face after that was just like MVP stuff.
Panther fans listen to that and they're like, we hate these guys.
Yes. But those are the guys you want to have on your team and want, the guys who live for those moments. There's been plenty of talented players, right, across all the sports who just could never get it done. So to have a guy in that moment be like, this is it,
let's go do it. Well, yeah. Because here in Seattle, we had the opposite of that. We had Matt Hasselbeck go out and be like, we want the ball and we're going to score. And I loved every second of that. And he threw a touchdown pass. It just wasn't to a guy in our jersey.
Right,
that was a bummer.
Do you think he ever tells people like that? Yeah, I threw a game-winning touchdown pass. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want to talk about it.
It hurt my passer rating, but it was still 6.
Yeah. I threw the pass. The game ended. What more do you need to know? Yeah.
Right.
No.
I mean, to be fair, though, I loved the attitude, though. Like, I loved that he said it and, the confidence behind it, loved all of that. And then he threw a dart to the wrong team. And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
But
sure you like that from your quarterback. Yeah. Well, it's good to have it from your quarterback. You certain leadership positions on there. You've got to have a little bit of that, maybe a little cockiness. So I get it, but
of course,
yeah, that's a tough one to
talk. There was another. It was funny because this soundbite triggered a lot of hate from other media members, and I thought it was bizarre that it made so many media members mad. And then I'll tell you why after the fact, but this was Cohen after the loss. And it was actually just a nice sentiment from a media member.
Congratulations on your success, young man. You hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season. You did a great job out there today. So you just hold your head up, okay? And ladies and gentlemen, do more. You the one, all right? Keep it going. We got another season, okay? Take care and much continued success to you and the entire team. Thanks, man.
The thing that was interesting about it, so there were people from the Associated Press and stuff. They're like, this isn't the place for that and all of this. You have a 10-minute question and answer session after games generally, right?
Right.
And I've been in press conferences that are very negative after a loss, especially one that'll end a season, right?
Mm-hmm.
She took 20 seconds of this 10-minute period to be like, hey, keep your head up. It was your first year. You guys did great, right? And she's not wrong. They definitely outperformed what I thought they would do. The fact that other media members were losing their minds over it is wild to me because, one, she didn't really take any time out of that press conference.
Not at all.
That was, 20, 30 seconds maybe? What exactly are you trying to glean out of that post presser, right? Because you're going to get coach talk out of it.
For sure.
We're going to be like, yeah, I got to coach better. We got to be better in this position. They're not going to give you anything real because they didn't look at the tape.
Right.
They know where they messed up, but half of this team's going to be different next year. Yeah. So it's not like I'm going to be like, oh, we can lean on this guy to get better. I don't know. Hope we can re-sign him. Right. So, yeah. I mean, some of these where they're losing their minds over it, I'm just like, I don't get it. I actually appreciated the fact that it wasn't going to be 10 minutes of just barbecuing a coach because you came up short in a big moment. Right. I mean, because again, I've been in those and man, they can be rough.
Yeah. That's the funniest part to me is the people losing their mind over it are the ones bringing the most attention to it, because I probably would not have known about that, because like you said, 90% of those post-game interviews are probably the most boring. Like, what are the ones you remember? Like, we play to win the game. Anytime a coach goes off or gets a little crazy, right? Yep. Other than that, you skip 9. Like, name the last great Bill Belichick, post-game, pre-game interview. You know what I mean? So we skip all those anyway. So someone in half the times, let's be honest, half the reporters in there are trying to see how smart they can sound when they ask a question, or they're giving this long, drawn out. So you did this and and I'm like, nobody cares the answer to that. We watched the game, we saw, and like you said, he's going to go, well, I wish we had played better in that spot. That's the soundbite you want. Exactly. And it's sad when you get to the point where a nice heartwarming soundbite is like the worst thing to happen at a game. So I guarantee you he appreciated that more than all the rest of y'all's questions. So
of course. Well, I mean, especially just to break up the negativity, because I mean, again, after a tough loss, and especially one that ends your season, like those pressers can be rough. I mean, even mid-season, a couple of weeks ago, I was in the presser for Coach Lane for the Kraken, and they came up short, and he lasted in that presser for 3 minutes. Like, there was more questions. He's just like, yeah, and I'm done.
Well, that's because all the questions are variations on how did you guys mess this up? In the third period, how'd you mess that up? In the second period, you guys got dominated. How'd you mess that up? They're like
100%. Like he, like that post-game interview was short enough I could have made it into a short. Right. Yeah. Including him walking up and then walking off. Like, he came up, we were sitting there for questions, and he's like, thanks, and stood up and walked away. And we're like, wait, was that it?
But that would be me, because after a loss, I'm probably the worst person to talk to, because if you ask me, I will tell you everything. You know what? Bo sucked today, and Raj sucked today, and the comments sucked today, and I hated this guy, and and they give me perspective, a day later, I'm like, no, it's just a bad game or whatever. But that would be me. So I think that a lot of times the coaches go into coach speak, because the other part of it is, if you want my emotions to come out, I hate everybody. I want to fire this whole team. I want to get rid of everybody. And that's, they can't do that. So yeah, they go into a shell. You get terrible questions, and the whole thing ends. I don't blame anybody for walking off. I don't want to talk to anybody after a loss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, we appreciate that win. Even if you're lying to us, it's cool.
Yeah, you know what? Lie to me. I need those lies. It's still early.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, I get it, especially, again, like, she took 20 seconds, 30 seconds out of a 10-minute period where the rest of you guys are going to barbecue him. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have done this, and what about this, and that was a bad pick, and whatever. So it's just like, yeah, we get it. Like, who else watched this game? Oh, us on the sideline. Like, so yeah, it's I don't know. Again, I just don't. I don't get it when the media tries to act like they're better than people.
Right.
Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, it was a great first year. Things didn't go your way, keep your head up, and then you keep it pushing. It's not like it was dominate the whole thing by just like blowing smoke up there. Like, it was quick, concise, and then you kept it moving.
And then she moved on. Yeah. Exactly. If her question was so bad, where were the rest of the questions? I have not seen a single other question to balance that out. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. I haven't seen a single one. So that's the only question. For the way they make it sound, he walked up, she said that, and then he walked off the podium and the whole thing ended. Like, is that what happened? Because that's what they're making it. She monopolized the whole time. She said that, and then he left. No one else got a chance. Okay, guys.
And that's what I'm saying, right? It's like, it was 20, 30 seconds. Like, come on, man.
You were good. Yes. How dare she make a coach smile?
Right?
And I don't know is Jay calling me Raj here?
Maybe.
Oh, my morning.
I mean, it's only because you look like Herb.
Yeah. So there's a chance I could still be Raj. Got it. That's fair. That's fair.
You're Scooby doing it. You're actually Raj.
Oh man.
That's awesome. It's all good, Jay. So we did get a soundbite from the owner of the Ravens on how the firing went with Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you heard that he got fired over the phone. And initially you kind of think of it that way. And you're like, man, he was there for 17 years or something. And you would think that it would have been a little more personal than that. And then you listen to the owner and you're like, yeah, I mean, that actually makes some sense. So
John, obviously a very long time. You're very close. Why the decision to fire him initially over the phone? And then secondly, what was the conversation, the gist of the conversation that you guys had a couple of days later?
Yeah, good question. I never in my mind, I never dreamed of firing somebody by phone, but the reality is when I made my decision on Tuesday afternoon, I was home and he was in his car heading to his house. And I thought it would kind of be a jerk move to call him up and say, hey, coach, meet me at the office in an hour. I mean, he probably would have said, yeah, Steve, I'd rather not. Why don't you just tell me over the phone? And when I did tell him the decision that I made, I said, I'm really sorry about doing this over the phone. I wish we were together. And he said, you don't owe me an apology for that either.
And that's fair, right? Like,
absolutely.
If you can tell me over the phone, I probably don't need to turn around, come all the way back to the facility for you to be like, oh yeah, and by the way, get out of here.
Yes. Isn't there a movie where they do that and they're like, you're fired? I'm like, you could have let me stay home. Like, right? I would much rather not travel anywhere to get fired.
We actually watched that with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Is they made him fly there for them to be like, yeah, we're going a different direction. It's like, yeah, I feel like you probably could have just told me in my house in Cali, then have me fly all the way to New York to be like, yeah, so
we're letting you go.
Sorry.
No. If I'm in Cali, you're in New York, you could text me. Like, I'm good with that. Like, hey, we're letting you go. Cool. I'm gonna get some more sleep. Talk to y'all later. Or talk to you never. But no, I get it. So
yeah. Well, and Jay, it probably was something that got solidified by that loss, right? Now, he did go on to say later in that presser that they asked if they would have won, if that kick would have made it and they would have won, if Harbaugh would still be the coach. And he went on to say for a week. So it sounded like Harbaugh was probably going to be out unless they went and won a ring. I think if they would have went and won the Super Bowl, probably plays out differently. But if you were to come up short in any other area, I think he probably is still out the door, because at this point, and let's be honest, McDermott's probably on that same path. If the Bills don't go to the Super Bowl, there's a really good chance he's not the coach there anymore, because now all the guys that have knocked him out, that they always make the excuses for Josh Allen, is, Mahomes and Burrow and Lamar. Well, guess who isn't in the playoffs this year? All those guys. Right. And they barely got past Trevor Lawrence. So I think if the Bills don't make it, McDermott might be on the out also.
Yeah, I could see. Although, to be fair, they've really let down the offense, with basically saying, we're just going to go with Josh Allen and I guess James Cook. But no, for sure, I could see that. 'Cause like you said, all the competition has kind of been stripped away. So it feels like this isn't the Bills team to make that run. So but I mean, they're favored again this week, and then surprisingly enough, and then
I don't think they get by the Broncos.
I'm torn on that one, to be honest. I because of the way the Broncos play, I like the defense. I think will keep them in it. Maybe they'll go running game, but you just, Bo Nix is not necessarily Caleb Williams as far as first half, second half, but he is Bo Nix as far Caleb Williams as far as first quarter, second quarter. We might get a great quarter and then he might take off for half the game. Who knows? So,
so here's why I think the Broncos get it: is their defense is significantly better than a team like the Bears, right? Let's say, but you're talking about a top 5 defense,
right?
Bo Nix, like the Bears, wildly inconsistent, comes back in the fourth quarter to ball out. They do have a decent running game. Now, the Bills, their defense has gotten better through the season. They have the number 1 pass defense, but they are 28th in run defense.
Yeah.
That's a tall ask.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another Josh Allen has to play hero ball for 60 minutes to get it done. At some point, that's going to get him.
Yeah.
So,
no, I agree. It's a tough one for me because of that.
That's actually the knock on Nix is, he was a duck. Go Huskies. But
stirred it up this morning. So
always. But yeah, no, I mean, it's so Bo Nix, like it's just because he's so inconsistent. I think this is another one that's going to be a fantastic game. This is being played in Denver, which obviously helps on that aspect. Also, a lot of guys have a hard time with the cardio by the end of the game playing in Denver.
Yep. I agree. Bo Nix is it's funny we talk about the Caleb Williams because it's another guy where you have championship aspirations, but now you're like, he's in his second year. We're just thrusting all these guys ahead so quickly. We're like, hey, we want to win a Super Bowl. He's like, I just got here though. Like, yeah, we don't care, buddy. We're like, we're moving you on ahead. So,
there's absolutely no patience in the league.
No, at all.
So, I mean, that is unfortunate for quarterbacks today. It's also why you don't see guys get developed, right?
For sure.
The NFL doesn't develop talent anymore at all because you can have one off year and you're getting fired.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Harbaugh. Yeah, they missed the playoffs, right? The last 3 years, they've been in the playoffs. I think 2 of the 3 years they win a playoff game. Double-digit winning seasons, win the division. You miss the division on a kick, and you're fired. It's like, oh. So here's a question I do have for you, though, because this one doesn't make any sense to me at all. So of all the coaches that got fired, right, you have Harbaugh fired. Stefanski's fired. Tomlin's fired. The guy that's underachieved probably the most in that division in Zach Taylor somehow still has a job. And the guy that gives them zero talent on defense or offensive line, their GM, also has a job. I do not understand what's happening in the North. How is that the dude that makes it?
Yes. What odds would you have taken if I had told you, hey, only one coach will be retained this year from that division? Like, there's no way that you're picking
Harbaugh.
Right.
Unequivocally, I would have said Harbaugh's job would have been safe. Tomlin would have been the guy that I was like, yeah, I mean, probably one and done, and then they get fired. I could see that. Stefanski wanted to get fired, and you're looking at Taylor, it's like, him and the GM should just be out of there, and they should start over.
Yeah.
Harbaugh would have been the one where you're like, oh yeah, no, I mean, he's safe. Like he's been killing it with this roster. They've just come up against, stuff, and he's had coaching moments, whatever, but you would have thought. And instead you're like, there's no, like I would have lost money on that every time.
Yeah, for sure. That's right. And Nick and I don't think he's here right now, but we actually had a discussion about the whole thing going on with Cincinnati and Taylor. And I was like, yeah, I'm surprised. They're like, well, they only gave him, 3 people and try to beat a whole team. I said, yeah, I get that. But there's still been a lot of moments where that team doesn't have fire. They don't look prepared. I said, look at the way they start every season, even with that talent. So, yeah, I get the GM should probably also go. But it just seems like it's time for a change there.
So
anyway.
the GM,
I'm still shocked.
The GM should have went for sure, right? Yeah. And so I look at it as Zach Taylor he was set up for failure because he just didn't have the talent on the roster. But we've seen GMs get coaches fired tons of times, right?
Right.
And so if you're firing the GM, a lot of times they'll fire the coach because the new GM is going to have a coach in mind, right? So you look at it from that aspect and you're like, okay, you know, I could see him getting fired. You could also see him getting a new GM and they give him a shot, right?
Yeah.
But injuries do they do give guys time generally, unless it's a consistent thing like Joe Burrow, where he only plays every other season. Right. So, you know, in those scenarios, that's where you can get the injuries can only save you for so long. Mike McDaniel also had been the beneficiary of Tua having issues. So, I mean, they can save you. They can prolong things for a year or two. I would imagine Dable lasted a year longer than he probably should have because of the injuries. So, I mean,
built-in excuses.
Exactly. Like they can certainly help. But if it's always there and you just can't seem to perform with anybody, that's where you still end up getting fired. So it can be true and false.
Yes. You agree?
Yeah, no, I understand, but I mean, this isn't a team that the roster is built in a way that they're going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's the Bengals are cheap. They absolutely are, and they don't want to pay coaches that are out. They don't want to pay GMs. Like, again, fully understand, but you are wasting the prime of Joe Burrow. You have him sounding like he's going to do some Andrew Luck stuff and just walk away from the sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only thing you've given him is Chase and Higgins, and the one element of your defense that was actually a nice, shiny spot, you gave a 1-year deal that's expired. So he's a free agent. So he ain't coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He magically stopped playing halfway through the year too. Yeah. No, they have that whole system, that whole thing has been a mess. So.
Oh yeah.
That's why I would definitely clean house. Even if they say they're cheap, that's fine. But like you said, you had an MVP candidate had you make the playoffs and the Triple Crown winner and you missed the playoffs. Like that cannot happen on a roster. And that's the moment where something has to happen. You know, and then you look, even when Burrow came back this year, look at how bad this division was. And look at your two division winners. Anytime there was time to put space between each other, you know, they're like Pittsburgh going out and losing to Cleveland. And you're like, nobody wants to win this division. There was a realistic shot at Cincinnati making a run, and then they just said, you know what, forget it. We're just not going to play either. So it's a bad division, but really if Tomlin can go, which like I said, we saw that going, and Harbaugh can go, then I don't see why like Taylor's sticking around. That should not be your holdover in that division. I'm going to say neither.
Jay, I'd rather just not be in Ohio.
I mean,
like, what are we even talking about right now? Like, it's both of those are a train wreck from the top to the bottom is the problem.
The only way I would answer this question is both. If you can give me Burrow and Chase and Cleveland's defense, then maybe I feel like I've got a shot at something.
I'm with that.
Other than that,
like in that scenario, you have a top flight offense, a top defense, and then the ownership will only destroy it a little bit. So you'll probably be a fringe wild card team.
Yeah, probably so. But if I can get Cleveland's front office, then maybe I can convince them Burrow's a guy and they don't like let him go in a year. Then maybe I'm safe.
No. In fact, I take all that back. You want to be the Bengals. You want to be the Bengals. You know why? Because they are going to give Deshaun Watson a legitimate shot at getting his starting job back.
Yeah.
He hasn't played meaningful football in 5 years. Like the last time he was actually good, he played for Houston.
Yeah.
So,
which, by the way, yeah.
And they are looking at it as he is going to be the de facto starter unless somebody can beat him out. Yeah. That is wild to me.
Yes.
That also lets me know you have zero faith in the entire rest of your quarterback room.
Yes. Which you spit two picks, one premium on quarterbacks this past year, put everyone through all of this to bring back Deshaun Watson. Which, by the way, when you're mentioning your trade, you should mention, Houston trading Deshaun Watson to Cleveland. I don't even know what they got out of it, but just getting away from all of that and making it into a trade is still got to be worse than what happened with Stafford. So
easily the worst contract. The only one I could say is a little bit worse would be the Russell Wilson trade.
Russell Wilson, for sure.
And Russell Wilson's trade is probably the worst ever because although the number wasn't quite as high as Deshaun's, Wilson never took a snap under that contract.
Yeah.
Because he was still on Seattle's contract for the year that he played there. So he never took a snap under that new contract. So Denver paid him all that money, gave up all those picks and a couple of players to Seattle and all that.
Yeah.
Literally got nothing out of it.
Yeah. Deshaun's is close, like you said. You can't match that part, not even playing under it. But Deshaun's is close because they gave him a contract so bad that all the owners got together, not publicly, but behind Coach Wright said, we're never doing that again. And then people forget the year that he was suspended, they were paying him, $1 million or whatever. They redid the contract to where the reason he was out or the season he was out, they weren't paying him anything. So they're like, look, we know you're probably going to get suspended for all that crazy stuff you did, and we'll start paying you next year. Like, that part is still wild. But I didn't realize that about Wilson and the timing of it. So it's sad when these are the fights, though. Wilson versus Watson, but worst contract ever. Like, these are not the races that you want to be in.
See, but the big difference is Denver is an organization that is willing to pivot, whereas Cleveland is like, no, we're going to double down on this horrible decision and just keep trying to make this work. Whereas Denver was like, hey, you know what? This ain't it. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit. Get him out of here. We drafted a guy. He's been good enough. He's getting better every year. And even though we're eating this money for this other contract, we have a quarterback on a rookie deal. So it's not torpedoing our team. Right. Yeah. So, Denver actually pivoted and made something out of it. And Cleveland is like, hey, this was a horrible decision. Let's see if we keep doing it. And if that gets better, it's like, you guys, there's a reason the first team that was there took them moving to Baltimore to win rings, and why you guys barely sniffed the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference in hiring a Super Bowl winning coach and giving him some control versus having a coach in there that you look like you want to fire every year. And like you said, that by the end, he's like, I'm ready to get out of here. And then, like you said, coaching decision or draft decisions that are made by people that nobody wants to take accountability for. So the front offices are just way, way different. Like, sometimes you do just have to eat that and move on to move forward. But the Watson thing is insane. And I know we're coming to the top of the hour. I do have to say, yes, there are people named Herb. I did see that comment, Jay. So thank you for the apology and then the backhanded right at the same time. I said, wow. Usually those comments are left from Raj. So thank you, Jay.
Oh, man. We appreciate everybody tuning in. This is always my favorite show. This show always makes such a good start to the day. So if you've been watching along with us, we appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our content to you. Otherwise, we're going to let you go. We'll see y'all next week. Or if you're on my channel, stay tuned. Coming up next is Coast to Coast. And I'll see you in literally about 1 minute. So take it easy, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.